Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a look featuring the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani Palette. I did decide to do more of a neutral look today, but as with any Gwen Stefani look, I did a red lip. So if you'd like to find out how I got this look, keep watching. So we're going to get started with the face, and I'm starting with the MAC Prep and Prime for Skin. This will be the primer for my foundation. So I'm just going to put this on with my hands and put it all over my face. So we're going to speed that up because it's not very exciting to watch. Then I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation, and this is in the shade Classic Ivory. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dot that all over my face. I don't try to use too much, otherwise it all gets stuck in my brush, so we're just going to put that on all over. And once I have that applied, then I'm going to go in and blend it out with a Morphe M439 brush. And we're going to speed through that as well, because that's also not that exciting to watch. So I make sure I blend it all over, including into my neck, to make sure there's no harsh lines. Once I'm happy with that, then I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral. This is my holy grail concealer. It's the only one that really, I find, matches me well and gives good coverage. Then I'm going to blend in my concealer using an e.l.f. small stipple brush. I like to blend towards the outer edge of my face just to give a slight highlight effect, and despite my best efforts, I make funny faces while I do this step in my makeup routine. Then I'm going to set my concealer using the Maybelline FitMe Matte and Poreless Translucent Powder. So I'm going to do that using a Real Techniques setting brush. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just pat it under my eyes. This will help keep my concealer from creasing, and it'll also keep me matte because I am a bit on the oily side. So once I'm done with that, then I'm going to use the same powder and use a bigger powder brush and put that all over my face. And again, this is because I am quite oily, but this will also help my other makeup to blend in more smoothly as well. Then I'm going to take the Maybelline Baby Lips Dr. Rescue in the shade Too Cool. This is the clear one, and this helps keep my lips from drying out when wearing lipstick, especially during these harsh winter months. Then I'm going to take the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the original shade and apply this to my eyelids, and I'm going to blend this in using my fingers. This will keep my eyeshadow looking flawless all day. It won't crease, fade, or disappear. This stuff is quite amazing. Typically, at the end of the day, my eyeshadow looks the same as it did when I apply it, so I totally believe in this product. Once I'm done with the eyeshadow primer, I'm going to move on to contouring, and I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit in light to medium. I'm going to use the shade Fawn on a Morphe G3 brush. This is their rounded contour brush, and I'm just going to do a very light contour in the hollows of my cheeks. This brush is really great just for doing something nice and light, and really this is the only contouring I do on my face. Next up is eyes, and this is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani Palette. So I'm just going to take the shade Skimp on a Sigma E40 brush and apply this as a transition shade. You can't really see it, but it's more to ensure that my crease will blend out nicely, and it kind of sets the primer potion we had applied earlier as well. Next, I'm going to take a Morphe 441 brush and use the shade Anaheim. I'm just applying this directly over top of the shade Skimp to my crease, and this will deepen, and I'm just using a windshield wiper motion. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other eye, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm happy with both eyes before moving on. It's always important to go back in and blend. Then using the same brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Zone and just apply a little bit of that to my crease as well, and this will just warm up the crease. Then I'm going back in with the shade Anaheim just to deepen it just a little bit more, and I'm still using that Morphe M441 brush. So I'm just going to go back and forth mostly focusing on the outer edge of my eye, just to deepen it a bit. Next, I am using the Morphe E17 brush to continue using the shade Anaheim, but this time I'm just patting it on the outer edge of my eye and blending into the center as I go. I am focusing more on the outer half, and this will just create a nice base for the next shadow that we'll be using. So I'm just going to quickly do that to the other side, and once I'm happy with both eyes, then we will move on. Once my camera refocuses, you'll see that I'm using a MAC 242 shader brush, and I'm using the color Pop. I'm just applying this all over my lid, including where we had applied Anaheim in the outer corner. Applying it right over top gives it a nice blended look, and you can still see that darker shade peeking through, so it kind of gives it a nice almost ombre look. So I'm just going to do this to the other eye, and I'm going to go back to the first eye and just make sure it's as pigmented as I would like it to be before I move on to the next step. Then I'm going to take a Sigma E30 pencil brush, and I'm going to go back to the shade Anaheim and just add a little tiny bit of it to the outer half of my crease just to give a little extra definition. So I'm going to do this on both eyes, and once I'm done that, I'm going to move on to my under eye. So with that same Sigma E30 brush, I am taking the shade Pop and I'm applying that to the inner 2/3 of my eye. It doesn't really show up that well on camera, but I'm basically just adding a bit of shimmer to the inner 2/3 and mirroring what I had done on the top half of my eye. So on that note, I'm going back to the shade Anaheim and I am applying that to the outer third of my under eye. This almost gives it a little bit of a smoked out look on the outer half and shimmers more to the inner part of the eye. So I'm just kind of blending those two together to make sure it looks nice and blended. Then I took the Too Faced Perfect Eyes Waterproof Eyeliner in Perfect Black and applied it to my waterline and on top of my eye. Unfortunately, I was out of frame when I did this, so I had to cut that part of the video. Then I took the Makeup Forever Smoky Extravagant Mascara and I applied that to my top and bottom lashes. I did notice while applying my mascara that the eyeliner on my lid was not as even as I thought it was when I applied it, so I did go back and fix that before I went and did the rest of my face. But next I'm going to use the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper in the shade Light to Medium, and I'm just going to apply this in my brows. This is the only step I use right now for my brows. It just gives it a little bit of a tint and it makes them look a little more put together. I'm going to take the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Ethereal Light, and I'm going to take a powder brush and apply this onto my cheeks just to give me a little bit of an extra glow. I'm not going to apply it all over my face because I am on the oily side, so I don't usually like to bring a lot of attention to my forehead. So then I'm going to use the Too Faced Candlelight Glow Highlighting Powder Duo, and I'm going to combine both shades and use a Morphe 501 brush just to apply this to the high points of my cheeks. This is a nice subtle highlight. I didn't feel like doing a super in-your-face highlight today, but this one is very nice. So you can just see a little bit of a subtle glow on my cheekbones. And I also applied this to my brow bones as well using that same brush. Then using the same brush and the same highlight, I applied a little bit to my cupid's bow as well. This is a step I don't normally do, but why not? So then I'm going to take a Morphe E4 brush and using NARS Orgasm blush, I'm going to apply that onto my cheeks. So I'm just going to tap that off and then pat it onto my cheeks, blending as I go. I'm going to do that to both sides, and once I'm done that, I'm going to take a fan brush and just use it to kind of blend all my cheek products together to get a nice even application. That way everything is blended seamlessly into each other and there's no harsh lines. So this is a step I like to do just to make sure that my cheeks look flawless. Using a fan brush is also great for sweeping off any excess powder that you have on your face as well. Then I'm going to take the Urban Decay Revolution lipstick in the shade 69 because no Gwen Stefani look is complete without a red lip. So I'm just going to carefully apply this to my lips. I'm not using a lip liner. It's not usually a step I have in my beauty routine. These lipsticks apply so nicely though that you really don't need one. I don't find I get any feathering or have any issues applying them. So after I've rubbed my lips together, I'm just going to fill in any spaces that I might have left, and then we're done. This is the completed look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!